the story about how German Frankfurt football fans invaded Barcelona. Let's take a look. Willkommen. My name is Sean Huggins, and this is React with Hugs. Let's hop straight into today's reaction.
One of the greatest advantages that a team can have in a football match is playing at home. Some of the most legendary upsets in football history have happened on not just the backs of the performances of the players, but the performances of the support as well. With the passion that fans bring to the table, the home team always gets a significant boost, which is why it was rather strange when in a Europa League game a few weeks ago, we saw Barcelona's second leg fixture versus Eintracht Frankfurt at home in the Camp Nou turn into essentially a neutral ground, with a large presence of away fans from the visiting Frankfurt team. Normally, the away team is only given a few thousand tickets to sell to their fans.
Barcelona gave Frankfurt 5,000 tickets, and somehow they got between 25 and 30,000 tickets. Oh my gosh.
Yet the German team supporters somehow packed the stadium with tens of thousands of fans,
almost
with estimates
half.
in the range between 20,000 and 30,000 supporters. So in this installment of Football Forensics, I want to take a closer look at just how it was possible that so many Frankfurt fans flipped the tie on its head by turning
espionage.
Camp
Here we go.
into neutral territory.
Yes.
Now there are three major factors that I see as contributing to the absolute invasion by Frankfurt fans. And
baby. By the way, before we get started, if you enjoy the content, please leave a like, leave your mustard down in the comment section below. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. All these things help the algorithm, it helps the channel, and it's much appreciated. But anyways,
all three of these reasons come together to create just a perfect storm
for all that
of chaos. Those three factors are the context of where the two clubs are, the setting of the game, and the structure of how Barcelona ticket sales work. First, the context of the clubs. It's no secret that Barcelona are in remission as a successful club in European football. Not only has the club lost $1.5 billion, but in recent years, they also lost a bit of their identity under the recent management of Ronald Koeman. Even though Xavi has come in for the second half of the season, and under his leadership, he's helped Barcelona re-establish some of that desire, passion, and identity to the team. The performances still have not improved that much beyond a 4-0 spanking of Madrid at the Bernabeu in the last El Clasico, but we gotta be honest here, a massive part of this decline of Barcelona has to be attributed to the departure of the one and only Lionel Messi, something which not even the most magic
everyone show respect in chat
could possibly begin to fix. The leaving of Messi, the identity crisis, and financial crisis has all contributed to a sort of nightmare scenario for Barcelona fans. A club that always challenged for the Champions League title is now playing.
Wow, so they scored their 2 goals, the only 2 goals that Barcelona got. They got in extra time, in extra minutes. Wow.
In the Europa League. And while a lot of Barcelona fans are still just as passionate as before in the glory days, this whiplash and traumatization from their fall from grace has undoubtedly affected the support that Barcelona had come to expect. However, Frankfurt, on the other hand, is a club as old as the Bundesliga itself, with the German club steeped in rich history, culture, and tradition, despite not being the global.
The difference in the fan bases, like, these guys just look so much more wild.
Brand that Barcelona is. Also, they have established a fairly respectable European pedigree in recent years, playing frequently in the Europa League despite staring down the barrel of a mid-table finish this season. Just from my own experience watching endless amounts of football, some of the most passionate fans in Europe this season have been from Frankfurt, with some legendary displays in the Europa League. So it was no surprise to me that the Frankfurt fans showed up in force to Spain. Originally, I was scoffing at the reports that 30,000 away fans were in Barcelona, thinking it was just typical sensationalized football journalism at play. And while I still question that high of a number a little bit, boy, was I proved wrong about perceiving the number of Frankfurt supporters as overly sensationalized after the starting whistle blew in Spain. After the first leg 1-1 draw in Germany, many in Frankfurt hyped this game up as the biggest match for the club in recent years. And that perceived magnitude of the match in comparison to the Barcelona fans' whiplash from even being in the competition is the main context behind the storylines of these clubs that contributed to the Frankfurt invasion of Camp Nou.
Yes.
Now, with the context of the tie explained, it's important as well to highlight the setting of the match. The Camp Nou is Europe's biggest stadium and can hold almost 100,000 people. That's a lot of people. And the game took place on a Thursday night late in the week, right before Easter weekend. So many Barcelona fans were probably already traveling or getting ready to travel out of town for the upcoming weekend.
And maybe there's a lot of German fans that had off of work on that Friday.
In addition, because of the holiday, most of the German fans already had these days off. And what better way to spend your Easter than on vacation in Barcelona, watching your favorite team play in one of the biggest matches in the club's history. In addition, because of the pandemic, attendance to Barcelona matches in general has been impacted, and the club allowed some season ticket holders to take the year off without renouncing their rights to their seats. And the club reported that approximately 30,000 of the 85,000 season ticket holders took them up on this offer. And that lack of season tickets meant that more tickets would be available for public sale. So now that we know the context of where these clubs are and what the setting was for this game, let's get into the real meat and potatoes of
Here
where
we
the
go. The Fußball espionage. Here we go.
Bamboozling occurred. And that is in the ticket sales. Now, a total of 79,450 tickets went up for sale for this match, with 34,340 going to public sale, 37,700 being accepted by season ticket holders, 2,400 going to UEFA guests, and a mere 5,000 going to...
What's a UEFA? Who's a UEFA? Who's UEFA and why they need so many tickets?
To the Frankfurt away fans. Now, the way that these public ticket sales work is that if you are a member of the Barcelona Supporters Club, then you get a special 24-hour pre-access period to these 37,700 tickets, where you can buy them at a 50% discount, with a limit of 6 per purchasing party as well. Now, for domestic games between Spanish teams, anyone can buy tickets, but for international games, you need to have a Spanish IP and Spanish credit card in order to purchase these tickets. So how did so many Germans get their hands on these tickets then? Well, with the rise of VPNs, anything is possible, especially with NordVPN. Are you
But VPN's easy to mask your IP address and say that you're in Spain. But the Spanish credit card, though, that I'm excited to see.
Tired of not being able to watch videos because of restrictions in your country?
I am tired
about that. Use the channel's new sponsor, NordVPN, to get around those restrictions. And okay, guys, I'm 100% joking here. We don't have a sponsor. Please, NordVPN, don't sue me. But if someone is watching this at NordVPN, then hey, look at how seamlessly I could have just plugged your company there. You should contact me here at my business email. I just got partnered last night as well, so I'm officially ready to show myself
sponsor you on my channel.
Company degenerated.
I'm gonna sponsor you on my channel. We're gonna partner together.
Enough to pay me. Anyways, yeah, Spanish IP address and Spanish credit cards. VPNs can get around the problem pretty easily and are readily available. But the credit card problem is one that's a little bit more tricky. Well, after that 24-hour pre-sale period where members get 50% off, a lot of those pre-sale tickets ended up being resold on third-party companies' websites.
So people bought them up half price and then tried to make a couple bucks, sold them to the Germans.
The main one in Europe being Viagogo, where anyone can buy them. You don't have to have a Spanish card. You can buy them from anywhere. For all of my fellow Yanks watching, Viagogo is basically the European SeatGeek. And now it's time to introduce the channel's actual first sponsor, SeatGeek. Okay, I'm kidding. Back to the video. So basically, all of these...
Made with Hugs and madewithhugs.com is going to be your first sponsor, okay?
Third-party companies were able to resell a lot of these tickets because Barcelona fans were reselling the ones that they had bought at a discounted price. It's been reported that an estimated 7,000 tickets that were up for public sale were purchased during the 50% public sale period and ended up in German hands. I did a lot of reading on Eintracht Frankfurt fan forums to see just how they said that they got tickets, and from what I've seen, a lot of them said that they just showed up without tickets and then bought them from Barca fans, scalping them outside of the stadium.
Damn! So they are really just getting rid of them left, right, and center. Whew! I mean, I can't say that I would do anything different. Like, me and Issa entered a lottery and we won tickets to an NFL game that was happening in Germany, like last year or 2 years ago. I forget who was even playing, but we won tickets and we were like, we actually don't care about this at all. So we just sold them. Like, so we sold them for like a couple €100. So I could see people buying tickets if they're, you know, Spanish, they have a Spanish ID, they are actually Spanish people. I could see them going in here and being like, all right, I'm going to buy 6 tickets for half price and then sell all 6 of them and make a couple €100 or something. I don't know how much they would actually make, but, you know, make a couple bucks because I'm not going to go either way. I don't really care either way, but I know somebody's going to buy them. You know what I mean? I'm not going to knock the hustle.
It seemed like less of them used resale sites like Viagogo, while others were saying that it was just pretty easy to simply know someone with a credit card that they could use to buy directly from the club's website. As we talked about earlier in the video, the decline of attendance due to the state of Barcelona, also with the tie being so close to Easter weekend, and of course the effects of the pandemic, just meant that a lot of these public sale tickets weren't going to go in that first 24-hour period like they always used to in the past. And since these early 24-hour sales period tickets weren't being bought up by the Barcelona fans, it opened up a window for them to be scooped up by German fans that were just using other people's credit cards. Meanwhile, the tickets that ended up on Viagogo had some that were selling for prices around 600 to 800 euros for even the most basic of seats. So Barcelona is in decline.
Wow.
No one buys tickets. A bunch now go up for sale at ridiculous prices on third-party websites that Barca fans don't want to pay for. So you've got to ask, who was left to buy all the third-party tickets at these prices? The answer? Frankfurt fans who are geared up for one of the biggest matches in their club's history. However, it wasn't just these public sale tickets that Frankfurt fans were able to get their hands on in a multitude of different ways, but they got a lot from some of the season ticket holders as well. Due to the team's decline, many
what the heck is happening here? Freaking protesting the season ticket holders?
Season ticket holders are deciding to just not go to games and choosing instead to resell the tickets on their season passes for a pretty fat profit. And they were selling these right outside the stadiums pre-match, similar to what was happening with some of the pre-sale tickets. If that wasn't bad enough, there is hard evidence of socios having a partnership with hotels to sell them their match tickets. Season ticket holders don't have to get their IDs checked at the door. They can just walk right in. And if fans were asked about how they got ID cards that didn't belong to them, then they could simply say, "It's my friends or families." So basically, most Frankfurt fans got into the stadium the same way that season ticket holders did. And this piece of paper right here is the result of probably a large number of socios selling their season pass to a hotel. That way the hotel can then resell those tickets. This is just, I mean, well, this is just fraud. It'd be foolish to assume that this reselling is an isolated incident to just this hotel. And most likely many tickets were also bought by Spanish travel agents, who then sold them on as part of travel packages to all of the Frankfurt fans, which is just another way the whole Spanish credit card, Spanish IP situation was beaten. There was an estimated 5,000 to 8,000 Frankfurt fans that got into the stadium from season ticket holders. An estimated 5,000 fans got in from their own tickets, the away tickets, and an estimated 10,000 fans got in from the public sale. Recently, there were reports of a fan who somehow was running an organized reselling ring and single-handedly sold 2,000 tickets as well.
Oh my god, that dude's like a freaking millionaire now.
Like somehow this guy's the Pablo Escobar of reselling Barcelona tickets. Now, my take on this whole situation, overall, generally, is that the Barcelona leadership is rife with pure arrogance to believe that this game had sold out with Barcelona fans. The Camp Nou only sold out a couple times this year, and one of those wasn't even for the Barcelona men's team, but the women's team. I feel like a lot of the stories coming out, like the one with the fans selling 2,000 tickets and the blaming of the socios, is partially true. Like, there is definitely some truth to some of the reselling that's been going on, but I think it's also very much being overblown by Laporta, so he can just cover for his own credibility, which absolutely is at stake because of this incident. There is simply no way that this game had sold tickets the way it did, and nobody even stopped to think that maybe it wasn't all the Barcelona fans doing it. And by the time 30,000 drunk Germans show up in all white, it's a little too late at that point to try and start turning them away.
The world should know by now, when the Germans mobilize, they do it fast and efficiently. You don't have time to think. All you can do is react. You can't even give them time to mobilize. Once you see they're mobilized, that's it. It's already too late.
Especially because they didn't hire any more extra security. And it's specifically because of that security problem that I think something like this will never happen again. Laporta has already announced a new system for ticket sales, and honestly, we're pretty lucky that nobody got seriously hurt from this incident. At the end of the day, Barcelona fell victim to having an outdated ticket system that was designed for the biggest club in the world, instead of a struggling one with an identity crisis in a post-pandemic lull. This, combined with German fans willing to do anything to get into the stadium, while Barcelona fans are willing to do anything to forget that these games are even happening, spelt a recipe for disaster, as the Barcelona leadership had the ignorance to believe that it was mainly Barcelona fans buying all these tickets. As much as Laporta wants to say it's all the fans' fault, and while the fans reselling tickets obviously have to shoulder some of the blame, Barcelona's methodology for selling the tickets is way past outdated.
Yeah, but like, dude, if that many Barcelona fans are selling their tickets, that means they lost their passion for the team. Otherwise, they would keep those tickets and want to go to the game themselves. So I don't really blame them that much. You know, if your team sucks, then it sucks.
Security was not prepared enough, and Laporta should shoulder just as much blame as the fans who sold their tickets to the Germans. So, what was the result of all of this? It was Xavi saying it felt like a final with 50-50 support, the Eintracht coach saying he thought that they were playing at home, and everyone else in world football left in confusion as to why Frankfurt had decided to build their new stadium in Barcelona. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I know this was a longer one.
Okay, that was awesome. Hilarious video, very informative, and very entertaining. I actually find this whole invasion of Barcelona thing really interesting. So I'm glad that somebody did a deep dive analysis of what actually happened and how it happened. Because yeah, something like this may never happen again. Who knows? We don't know. But it was definitely very cool to see. That being said, I will pass the question over to you guys, the experts. What do you think of the invasion of Barcelona situation? Let me know your thoughts. Add your mustard down in the comment section below. While you're down there, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and leave a like on the video. It helps the algorithm, which helps the channel, and it's much appreciated. At any rate, though, that's all the time that I have for today. Thank you guys so much for being here, and as always, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.